There is no end to the politics over Ram Mandir. India celebrates, but the India alliance continues to hurt Hindu sentiments.
Congress to begin seat sharing talks with the India allies to finalize a strategy for the Lok Sabha polls.
Two days after the attack on the Enforcement Directorate team, the TMC now says incidents like these are pretty normal. It's not a new thing. The BJP hits back.
All these governments suspends 3 ministers over derogatory remarks made on Prime Minister Modi.
Prime Minister Hasina likely to win her 4th straight term as Bangladesh votes amid strike and arson.
Good evening and welcome, friends. This Sunday evening, the fact that you're watching News Sunday shows how seriously you take what's happening in and around you. So we try to bring you the best of what's really happening. And this evening, me and Deepthi with me, and of course the guests who would be joining, would be focusing on the politics as it has panned out over the last week or so around the Ram temple. Remember, the Pran Pratishtha of Lord Ram Lala happens on 22nd of January. But then we have seen a build-up, just as of sentiment for Lord Ram on the ground among the masses, so amongst the politicians. Of course, politics is about society, and politicians are integral to the society. And we are getting all sorts of sentiments of the people and so of the politicians. But the interesting bit is that there is a divide. There are politicians belonging to the Ram Temple movement, to the RSS family, to the BJP, who are fully covered in the Ram sentiment, including the Prime Minister. When you see every day him tweeting or posting on X one video or audio of somebody, some singer, some artist getting involved in the Ram sentiment. Prime Minister understands the pulse of the nation, and so he is going with it. And then we have a set of politicians, from the Congress party to the RJD to the AIUDF, who think that the sentiment on the ground perhaps does not matter. Little ironic, because politicians are supposed to have their hand on the pulse of the nation, and as much to mold it so as to go with it. Irony also, because Daudeyal Khanna, who led the Ram Temple movement much before the VHP got involved, much before the BJP got involved with its Palampur resolution, belonged to the Congress party. Ironic, because Rajiv Gandhi always claimed he got the temple opened, the Tala opened, on the advice of Arun Nehru or otherwise. Ironic, because on the Dasara day, if Sonia Gandhi cannot be at the Ramlila Maidan in Delhi, she chooses to go to Mysuru Dasara. We are going to discuss all those ironies in the light of the comments that have come over the last 1 week.
Oh yes, and a critical question is whether the invite that has gone into multiple political parties right now, who once claimed that this is an event perhaps just linked to the BJP, would they be welcoming the Ram Lala and the entire Pratishtha when it happens on the 22nd? There is a big Congress's dilemma. They are stuck between a rock and a hard place, but we are wondering why. And what about the sentiment as you lead up to the big battle of 2024? Without wasting any time, let's introduce that big weekend debate for you to help you understand where do we stand, where do different political parties stand on the entire issue, and could Ram Mandir again be that turning point that does ensure कि BJP 400 के पार चली जाएगी? That's got to be our big focus. Let's also begin with the headlines on top of the show.
There is no end to politics around the inauguration of Ram Mandir. A day after AIUDF chief Badruddin Ajmal crossed all limits and appealed to all Muslims to not travel by train from January 20th to 25th.
আমাদের মুসলমান ভাইরা 20 তারিখ থেকে 24-25 তারিখ পর্যন্ত কেউ যে ট্রেনে সফর করে পুরো ভারতবর্ষ এই যে রাম জন্মভূমির মুক্তি রাখা হইল রামের মুক্তি রাখা হইল ওই দিন তারা পুরো পৃথিবী দেখতে লাখ লাখ মানুষ আর ভারতবর্ষ থেকে তো ঢাকায় যাচ্ছে
Politics is playing out over his polarizing comments.
पहले तो आप किसी समुदाय के ना नेता हैं, ना धार्मिक नेता हैं, ना राजनीतिक नेता हैं। अपनी बात आप अपने लिए रखिए, अपनी पार्टी के लोगों से कहिए। अगर आपको लगता है कि 20 से 28 तक आपको घरों में रहना है तो रहिए। जहाँ तक इस देश की बात है, इस देश का कोई भी व्यक्ति किसी भी धर्म का हो, वो जो कानून से की हुई कार्रवाइयाँ हैं उसको मानता है। राम मंदिर के विषय में और बाबरी मस्जिद के जो आपस में विवाद हुआ था उस पर ये बात दोनों पार्टियों ने तय की थी कि जो भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट तय करेगा उस बात को मान्य माना जाएगा।
Policy and strategy of Congress to alienate the minorities from the mainstream. They are creating fear. They are fear mongers. Nothing of that sort will happen. Everything will be peaceful. I request everybody to do all their normal works.
बिना मतलब का भ्रम फैलाने का प्रयास किया जाता है, लोगों में डर भय का माहौल बनाने का प्रयास किया जाता है। केंद्र सरकार का हमेशा प्रयास रहा है कि सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, इस सोच के साथ हम लोग आगे बढ़ने का हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं।
पावर चला गया, बाबरी ध्वस्त हो गई, लेकिन इनकी मानसिकता नहीं बदली। ऐसे लोगों को भी जनता समझ रही है, जान रही है, उनको बता भी रही है। हमारी तो प्रार्थना भगवान से है कि इनको भी सद्बुद्धि दें।
Union Minister Giriraj Singh also tore into AIUDF's chief's statement stating that people like him are responsible for spreading hate in the country.
देखिए, बदरुद्दीन अजमल जैसे लोग ही समाज में विद्वेष पैदा करते हैं, भ्रम पैदा करते हैं, हिंदू मुसलमान पैदा करते हैं। चाहे आगे आप देखेंगे जो हमारे इकबाल अंसारी जी हैं उनको निमंत्रण मिला है, वो जा भी रहे हैं, राम की पूजा में भी रहेंगे, लेकिन बदरुद्दीन जब भी बोलते हैं तो जहर ही उगलते हैं।
As the country awaits the birth of a grand Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, when will the likes of AIUDF chief stop unnecessary fear-mongering in the country? This is Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So this is a reaction, remember, that came in from Badruddin Ajmal just about yesterday, and you've seen a lot of those follow-up reactions to that. But also what we'll put our focus on this edition of the Weekend Debate is on the big dilemma right now in the INDA alliance. A lot of parties already have taken a stand and they've said we are not going for it, Abhishek. They've made it very clear that we are not going to be a part of this because they maintain that this is still a BJP event, it's a political event, and the BJP is going to be milking the entire situation to their advantage in 2024. But the Grand Old Party, as always, is still in a state of flux. We do not know whether Sonia Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, who've both been invited, will be a part of this or not. And right now, we do see Sanju Verma, the national spokesperson of the BJP, with us. Sajjan Kumar Singh, who's a political analyst, he's also in Ayodhya right now, and he's been speaking to a lot of people there, so I'm sure he's going to get us a better sense of what he's seen, what he's heard, what's the mood on ground. Good to also have Ravi Srivastava, who leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party. And we also have Kanchan Yadav, the national spokesperson of the RJD, who's completing our panel. And Abhishek, with your permission, I want to take, the two ladies on the panel. Let's begin with Kanchan. Kanchan, do you think that this is a big momentous occasion? Would you say that the RJD, if it's invited, should be a part of the entire Pran Pratishtha, and the Congress should also follow suit? Kya Ram sabke nahi hai, Kanchan?
See, we have made statement every time that Ram is our foe. Never heard, but we don't do the dirty politics. We refuse all the dirty politics which is related to our government, our religion, and what is currently doing. Actually, it is tying up everything with the Ram temple, because they have failed the nation. That's why they are hiding their shortcomings behind the religion and behind the faith. And as we are debating about the India Alliance or the Ram Temple or the 2024 election, and we know that the 2024 general election is above any political party, it is above the single individual like the Mr. Modi. 2024 general election is about safeguarding of the constitution. It's about the safeguarding of the democracy, the mother
now
of
with your audio line. We'll just fix that. We'll just fix that because it's important to hear what you have to say, and we are also waiting for Pankaj ji to join us. He leans towards the Congress, and I think he's there. He's there on our screens now, Kanchan. We'll just fix your audio line, and let's see if Pankaj can hear us before I come to Sanju also. Pankaj ji, good evening. Can you hear us?
Yes, yes. Yes,
so Pankaj ji, why is the Congress taking so long to decide कि क्या वो राम के साथ है या राम के खिलाफ है?
No, everyone is with Lord Rama. The only point is that when should we go for the darshan? On the end of January or on any other day? So why? So, I mean, Congress is not against Lord Rama. No one in this country is against Lord Rama.
Then what is the problem in being a part of the Pran Pratishtha? Don't you think that's a momentous day that the entire country has been waiting for?
If it is such a momentous day, why Shankaracharyas are not going there? Many others are raising many objections. The whole thing is being done keeping in mind the election dates. There is nothing religious about the construction of the Ram temple. Only for the elections. But let me tell you, this is going to boomerang. If BJP is thinking that the construction of the Ram temple
Pankaj ji, I have an audio issue with you also, but all that I've understood before I toss it to Sanju, see, all of you said, till the invite came, all of you said there is no invitation. Once there is an invitation, we'll decide. And you allege that this is a BJP event. The BJP wants to make this a political event. The BJP is mixing religion and politics, and you allege that that is the reason why, the BJP needs to answer. But today, there are, people, there are eminent citizens from across the country. This includes different political parties also who've been invited for the event. So this is not the BJP event. No, unless you want to give the BJP that kind of a leg room to say that this is our event, and the BJP will capitalize this, Pankaj ji. I mean, you have to accept the fact. Is this more of an ego battle now between the Congress and the BJP?
It is more an ego battle for BJP. Nobody has been invited. Actually, a hukmanama has been issued. You should join this Shobha Yatra of Narendra Bhai Modi ji. It is not for Lord Rama, it is for Narendra Bhai Modi ji. So you should join the Shobha Yatra of Narendra Bhai Modi ji on 22nd of January. And if you join on that day, you are in Rama. This is the invitation. This is an invitation. Why Shankaracharyas are going
refusing to go there? Today, I'm told.
Raising very valid questions.
Barely hear what the other
let's get Sanju. Let's get Sanju to respond to that. Sanju, no matter what, the opposition believes that this is just about the BJP, just about Narendra Modi. You believe that this is a valid criticism at all, Sanju?
Deepti, first I wanted to ask you, am I audible? Because I believe your phone lines are down and, there is some technical glitch. So I'm not sure if I'm even being heard by you.
Yes, we are struggling, but we are able to hear you just fine right now, Sanju.
Okay, thank you, Deepti, because I could barely hear what the other panelists were saying. but I could gauge because I've been on so many debates with the same set of panelists, so I know what their usual narrative is. I just have this to say, that those saying that, why is BJP trying to appropriate the entire Ram Mandir legacy? I want to tell them that it was way back in 1989 when, via the Palampur resolution, the Ram Mandir issue was vaulted onto the national center stage of Indian politics. And we all know LK Advani and the senior BJP top brass was responsible then. Now, 34 years later, it is under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Modi that the consecration ceremony at the Bhavya Ram Temple will happen on the 22nd of January. मैं ये पूछना चाहती हूँ, people who say, अरे राम मंदिर तो इसलिए बन रहा है because Supreme Court gave a unanimous verdict on that count. Nobody is disputing, nobody is denying the fact that the Supreme Court facilitated this. But equally, an argument that I need to give is, Supreme Court has been in existence for the longest time. Political parties came, political parties went. The Congress was in power from 2004 to 2014, non-stop. क्या किया इन लोगों ने? 2006-7 they went to the Supreme Court saying मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम राम तो है ही नहीं. It is a figment of the imagination of people within the BJP and RSS. फिर कांग्रेस पार्टी गई Supreme Court and they knocked on the doors of the Supreme Court saying राम सेतु तो था ही नहीं. ये भी बीजेपी के लोगों की figment of their imagination. Then you had people like Shashi Tharoor saying ahead of Lok Sabha 2019, do not bring the BJP or Narendra Modi back to power. It will lead to the Talibanization of Hinduism. He coined the term Hindu Taliban. And the ex-Home Minister of India, a congressman at that, Sushil Kumar Shinde, coined the term saffron terror in the aftermath of the horrifying 26/11 Mumbai terror attack. Terror attack kiya Lakshmana Toiba ne. But ye kya kehte hain Sushil Kumar Shinde? This is RSS or
we have heard this correct, 100 times.
Coined the term saffron terror.
Tell us something new.
What Mallikarjun Kharge said. This video, Deepthi and Abhishek, is viral.
I'll tell you something new.
But Pankaj ji, the fact is what Sanju is saying is the truth. No, you might say this is old, but see, people remember a lot of things. People remember a lot of things. When you said ki Lord Ram kahan hai, he's a mythological, character. There has been a conversation about the Ram Setu, and forget everything. I'm asking you right now that will the Congress be a part of the consecration ceremony on the 22nd? You're not able to respond with a yes or a no. Ravi Srivastava, do you believe that this is a problem? And do you believe that the Aam Aadmi Party, perhaps, if it is invited in the next few days, will be seen at the consecration or not, Ravi? You think it's a big day or not?
Deepthi, first of all, I want to ask a simple question. Whether it is a political event or a religious event. First point is this. What actually is this? All four Shankaracharyas have already dissociated themselves with this event. The political invite or so-called invite has not been sent to the sitting president Draupadi Murmuji and not even to the ex-president Shri Ramnath Kovindji. I don't know what kind of who is distributing all these fatwas that you come and join and you don't come and join or something like that. I mean, is it a proprietary of a political party, or it is a kind of a national event, or it is a cultural event? I mean, what event is this? Nobody is able to understand it. Fighting.
Okay, Ravi Srivastava, let me get in.
Who were not standing in the court even for fighting for the Ram Mandir. Those people are claiming today that we fought for it. And as far as the demolition of the Babri Masjid is considered, it was a criminal
Are you
act.
talking about Kapil Sibal?
It is written right in the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. It was a criminal event. And today we are
Ravi Srivastava,
those people as a martyr or as a national pride that they were car savers. I don't know which car they were servicing, but they call themselves
Ravi Srivastava. Okay.
Certificates are being issued that they are the
Sanju, let me just get in and get some facts.
What kind of event is this? What facts you want to verify? Please do.
Okay, I tell you what kind of event is this. I'll tell you, Ravi Srivastava, I'll tell you what kind of event is this. So, the Pran Pratishtha, the process, the prayers, the ceremonies start on 15th of January, when the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, would be present. The process, the procedure, the ceremonies culminate on 22nd of January, when Prime Minister would be present. So that's the basic fact, number one. Number two, Pankaj ji was saying that, tell us something new. So I'll tell you something new. Congress Minister orders Karnataka temples to perform a special puja on January 22nd. This is Karnataka Endowment Minister Ramalinga Reddy, who has given a written instruction that across all temples of Karnataka on January 22nd, prayers should be held. You have Vikramaditya Singh, minister in the Himachal government, saying he will go and attend the consecration or Pran Pratishtha ceremony on January 22nd. And we have other headlines which show the kind of involvement that is there of people. Ravi Srivastava, you know, expectant mothers request Kanpur government hospital to align deliveries with Ram temple ceremony. A group of 700 people coming from Janakpur in Nepal carrying goodies.
These are all trivial things which you are talking about.
No. Listen, Ravi Srivastava, that is the mistake you make. In your highbrow ivory tower intellectualism, I think you fail to understand the sentiment on the ground. And the job of the politicians is exactly that, to understand the sentiment on the ground. Also, let me complete. I'll come to you. You ask something, I am responding, and then you answer. Ravi Srivastava, you get to answer. You see, Ravi Srivastava, you are saying, is this a social event, a religious event? Do you know the oath of US President? It ends with, so help me God. The US dollar, it says, in God we trust. The King of England is called the defender of the faith, or the Queen of England is called the defender of the faith.
What God has to do with the Bhagwan Ram? Everybody has his own God. I have got my own God.
What God has to do with Bhagwan Ram?
What should you have to link with the Bhagwan Ram God only? I have got my God. I have got my God in my four walls of my house, which I worship.
And it's not Bhagwan Ram?
Why should I tell you whom I worship?
Ravi Srivastava cannot be a Hindu.
That is my personal right given by the Constitution of this country.
This
is my personal right.
Repeatedly without remorse or regret.
This is my personal right, sir, whom I want to worship.
I think you are missing the point, Ravi Srivastava. I understood. At some level, you are right. At some level, you are right. It's a very personal matter. It's a personal God. No religion perhaps in the world other than Hinduism has the concept of very personal God to a level where you can have mothers in our homes treating Laddu Gopal as a kid God. You can have a very personal God where Ramcharit Manas itself says Agun Sagun Do Brahma Swarupa. So I think it's not about a personal God or not. This is about an event in the history of the nation, or history in the making for a nation, where the nation, the society, the politics, the people, everyone is coming together. Now, of course, there would be some element in politics. They would want to stay away from it. Whether it's wise, we don't know. As I said, Vikramaditya Singh is a leader of the Congress party. The Karnataka minister is of the Congress party. And they are also getting involved. Just as commoners are getting involved in whichever manner they can, just as the Prime Minister, apart from being there on the Pran Pratishtha day, is getting involved in whatever manner. I think, Mr. Pankaj Sharma, the Congress party's dilemma is not whether Sonia Gandhi should go to the Pran Pratishtha. I think the dilemma is whether you can decisively own up this occasion like the BJP can or not. Is that the dilemma, Mr. Sharma?
There is no dilemma. I have told you nobody is against Lord Rama. Congress party is not against Lord Rama. I think so. See, you know, the sentiments on the ground have already been expressed by Shankaracharyas. You know, I fear the huge overdoing in Ram Temple thing might be counterproductive for BJP. It will boomerang. Large section of Hindu society is actually not happy the way Pran Pratishtha of Ram Lala is being done with this sort of haste, ignoring all the Sanatan and religious aspects of basic rituals, keeping only upcoming parliament election in mind. Acharyas are raising fundamental questions that have no answers.
Pankaj, you must be very clear, you know, without wasting much time, the Congress can just say that, listen, we do not believe in the manner that the BJP is going ahead with the entire consecration. Sanju, give me a moment. I'm going to come back to you, and you should be firm. Either you say yes or no. Now you clearly cannot be living in the grey, because then I'll tell you what Shashi Tharoor said. Pankaj, this is what Shashi Tharoor said, and I think that is the crux of the entire issue. I also want to get in Sajjan and Kanchan both into the conversation back. Shashi Tharoor said, if you go, that means you are playing into the hands of the BJP. That is your real fear. And he said, if you don't go, that means you are anti-Hindu. So the Congress is not able to decide this. Kanchan, before I come to Sajjan, what is the problem if a Nitish Kumar, if a Tejasvi, if a Lalu Prasad Yadav is also seen at the consecration, Kanchan? Do you believe that you should be there welcoming Lord Ram and this entire sentiment, the journey of faith that we have seen over the country, Kanchan?
This is not the multiple choice question where we answer yes or no. I have said already that Ram is our faith. Ram is हमारे रोम में है. But we don't do the dirty politics like BJP is doing. That we are doing the politics on education.
What is dirty about a consecration ceremony, Kanchan? If I may ask you, what is dirty about a consecration ceremony? Can you tell me that? What does the RJD believe is quote unquote dirty about a consecration ceremony?
You know, everything they are linking with the Ram Temple only. They are not talking about the real issue of the education. They are talking about employment. They are talking about the eradication of the poverty, eradication of the unemployment, eradication of where you are hungry. You have seen the index. But what they are talking about only the Ram Temple. Ram is our faith. We have made statement one time. We don't need the invitation for the Bharatiya Janata Party to visit every temple in this country. We have that right.
Kanchan, why don't you accept that the BJP is trying to usurp both Mandal and Kamandal at the same point? And that is going to be hurting parties like yours, parties like the Samajwadi Party. And before I get Sanju to respond to this, Sanjan, thank you for your patience, and because you are in Ayodhya, I think you are the best placed right now to tell us that what really is the ground reality. Is this the coming together of the Mandal versus Kamandal that really helps the BJP, and something that is leaving the INDI alliance with absolutely no choice?
First of all, let's go back slightly in the early 1990s when artificially a Mandal versus Kamandal social base was projected, and that became a common sense in media, academia, and also in judiciary. Who were the leaders of the Kamandal or the Hindutva? Kalyan Singh, he was an OBC. Vinay Katiyar, the All India President of Bajrang Dal then, OBC. Uma Bharti, OBC. And then you see who, went for the foundation stone ceremony, Kameshwar Pasi, a Dalit. So even in the heydays of Mandal discourse, the Kamandal or Hindutva movement were led by the subaltern Hindus, OBCs, Dalit tribals, not as a passive supporter, but as the ones who led the discourse. This is one. And today when you see in Ayodhya, people on the ground are not talking about Mandal versus Kamandal. They are not even taking 22nd January as a day solely as a religious occasion. You could see 22nd is seen as a promise, as a package, which includes dharma and artha combined together. So this entire framing of a culture versus material politics, as if the moment you talk about Hindu religiosity, cultural sensibilities, historical anticipation, suddenly it is framed as a faith issue, and you divorce the economic issue from the culture. Is the cultural and the economic issue so divorced to the everyday mundane life of the people on the ground? Sitting at Ayodhya and talking to the people on the ground, today you see this underdeveloped part of Hindi heartland, that is Ayodhya. You move east from Lucknow and move towards Gorakhpur. Underdevelopment is the reality. Ayodhya is one reality which is also triggering a sort of latent economic potential that this region should have witnessed much earlier.
Okay.
Now you have an airport. I landed today. It's the second day for the passengers. From there, you keep on talking, and you see the entire city is undergoing a structural and infrastructural transformation. People are debating whether the new infrastructure will be more towards the Lucknow side or towards the eastern, that is the Basti and Gorakhpur side, or towards Sultanpur and Allahabad side. So that way you also see Ram Temple, besides being a cultural and religious event, is also becoming more sort of packaged as an economic event. So you do not have a Mandal versus Kamandal, cultural versus economic. It is one package, and if you are really serious about making it a kind of a inclusive event, the best bet is to the non-BJP party to be a part of that collective occasion, because 10 years down the line, when there would be a collective memory, when people will look back, that who all were participant to this grand occasion wherein people became one, and when there was a positive energy, then in the politics of memory, all the parties and platforms who try to circumvent the occasion 22nd will be seen.
Okay, Sajjan, I think you make a brilliant point there. And this is exactly how we have seen a paradigm shift in the way politics and how people are looking at things. People are aspirational. You know, Ravi, Kanchan and Pankaj, no matter what you say, people are aspirational. People want better infrastructure, and people actually are wanting that, you know, you will be seeing much of that also coming in from the opposition, Ravi. But why don't you respond to what Sajjan said? And he said, forget everything, you don't even have a recipe right now to deal with the entire Ram Mandir narrative that the BJP has been able to create.
And this economic revival aspect that Sajjan Singh, who's there on the ground, brought out, you see, the kind of investment that's going in, about 40-50,000 crore rupees in Ayodhya, that's going to do tremendous good for the population of that region. You know, I am reading this story, Ravi, before you respond. Banarsi sari weavers upbeat as orders for Ram Mandir themed saris pour in. Now, almost 100% of the weavers involved in Banarsi sari making are Muslim. So this Hindu-Muslim thing also does not work.
I'm not getting into that.
50,000 crore rupees is going into a region of 2-3 districts in eastern Uttar Pradesh. All the population, irrespective of their religion, caste, gender, any bias, they benefit.
I'm not getting into that Hindu-Muslim politics here, because the Muslim person who was a petitioner, he himself has come forward and said that he has received the invite and he is going to join the consecration on 22nd of January. What I respond to my friend is, these are all knee-jerk reactions. You get into a consecration on 22nd January, some hotels are coming up, some roads are coming up, an airport is coming up. You know, in the 200-kilometer radius, Lucknow, Gorakhpur, Kushinagar, Kanpur, Ayodhya, Prayagraj, 200 kilometers, there are 6 airports. How many people will it be catering to? Can you tell me? And if this
fantastic, what's wrong with that? Fantastic. What's wrong with that? Is having airports wrong? Are you suggesting having 6 airports in that Purvanchal is bad?
Absolutely, sir. Because if the airport is not getting even a single flight in last 6 months, what is the use of the infrastructure?
You know, do you need the BJP to voice its opinion, or you want only the opposition voices on your show? If that is the case, don't call the BJP and waste our time.
Minting machinery. It should not be like that. If there's a real development. And why, after so many years, you realize that region of the UP has been underdeveloped?
I will get back to you, Sanju.
Why not develop?
Ravi Srivastava, you got your chance.
Now this man is back again on the screen, speaking gibberish as always.
Ravi Srivastava, okay, you made your point, Ravi Srivastava.
What kind of a debate is
Point
this?
number one you made was that what's got to do with Lord Ram?
That is what I want to tell you.
Right?
Airport is not a development. It caters to only elite.
Okay, that's not development. Let Sanju respond. Sanju, according to him, 50,000 crore rupees, 6 airports, not development. No development.
Dimension in this.
Development.
You know, when they were speaking, I was absolutely quiet.
I'll come to you. Let Sanju respond. Ravi Srivastava, pull back. Hold on. You have made your point. Let Sanju respond. You are saying it's not development. Sanju gets to respond.
You have 3 people from the opposition. I don't care if there are 30 from the opposition. But the fact is, I need my time for a rebuttal. First and foremost, the RJD spokesperson. You know, she comes for every debate and she says BJP is indulging in dirty politics. So let me remind the RJD spokesperson. What did Professor Chandrasekhar, who's apparently the higher education and minister, इनको प्रोफेसर किसने बनाया? ये ताज्जुब की बात है. इनको हायर एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर किसने बनाया? ये और भी बड़े ताज्जुब की बात है. What did Professor Chandrasekhar say? He said Ramcharitmanas is a hoax. Ramayana is a hoax. Lord Rama is a hoax. The Gita is a hoax. Prabhu Krishna is a hoax. Hanuman Jayanti is a hoax. And Tejasvi Yadav, Lalu Yadav, इनके मुंह में सब फेविक्विक लग गया. Then let us talk about Sudhaker Singh, their agriculture minister who was removed on corruption charges. And Sudhaker Singh is not a small politician. He's the son of Jagdanand Singh, the RJD's head honcho. What did Sudhaker Singh say? He said Ramcharitmanas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, these are responsible for spreading communal hatred. And look at the audacity of Tejasvi Yadav. He says Ram Mandir पर आप 3,000 करोड़ क्यों खर्च कर रहे हैं? You can build hospitals, colleges, universities. So I want to ask Tejasvi Yadav, a few months back, you started, allocating money on the basis of the Bihar budget. And do you know something, Abhishek and Deepti? 6,783 crores has been kept aside for the development of madrasas and to give scholarships and doles to the Maulvis and Imams in madrasas. 6,783 crores out of the Bihar budget. मैं इनसे पूछना चाहती हूँ तेजस्वी यादव से, राम मंदिर पर यदि 900 करोड़ खर्चे हुए हैं, because Champat Rai has said till date only 900 crores has been spent, the rest of the money is safely there in the trust. आपके पेट में उबाल हो गया कि 900 करोड़ राम मंदिर पर क्यों खर्च हो गए, बट आप 7,000 करोड़ मदरसा पर खर्चे कर सकते हो. आप 7,000 करोड़ मदरसा पर खर्चा ना करके अस्पताल बनाते, कॉलेज बनाते, बिहार में यूनिवर्सिटी बनाते, अच्छी रोड्स बनाते, ब्रिजेस बनाते, पर नहीं, आपको सारा भाषण तब देना है जब भव्य राम मंदिर का कॉन्सिक्रेशन होने जा रहा है. That shows that the RJD is as anti-Hindu as DMK, is as anti-Hindu as the Congress, is as anti-Hindu as the Samajwadi Party, whose spokespersons actually Deepti and Abhishek. I've been on a couple of debates with them, and they say, so what यदि मुलायम सिंह यादव ने निहत्थे कार सेवकों पर गोली चलाई थी? This is the brazen audacity. And then they are so confused, they say, but you have to admit one thing, that it was under Narasimha Rao that the Babri Masjid demolition happened. So we deserve credit. You have to admit that the temple was unlocked, the temple / masjid, when Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister in 1980. So Ram Mandir पूरे विपक्ष के लिए शादी का लड्डू बन चुका है.
I think both Kanchan and Pankaj ji want to respond.
सकते हैं ना इस शादी के लड्डू को.
Okay, so you allege that much like the DMK, this is the anti-Hindu stance of the opposition. Kanchan first, then Pankaj ji. Kanchan.
You know what spokesperson is saying and what anchor he just said, economic stuff. But then spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party asked the Modi, he once addressed the nation, and the nation 15 lakh from the lakh to the
countries in the Lok Sabha. बीजेपी को बैठकर यहाँ भाषण देना बंद करो, पहले चुनाव जीतना सीखो. Your RJD has 0 seats in the Lok Sabha. आप किस हैसियत से बीजेपी को सर्टिफिकेट बांट रही हो मोहतरमा?
When the formal kingdom will be done,
You believe
There are certain audio issues, so we aren't able to hear all of you. When you speak over each other, Sanju, please. Let Kanchan respond, then you can counter her. Kanchan.
Call it the fair and Ram temple.
Kanchan.
They are not talking about this.
बनाना है तो आप बनाइए ना, बिहार में बनाइए, बिहार में कॉलेज खोलिए, बिहार में यूनिवर्सिटीज खोलिए. You don't want to build a single hospital in Bihar. You've been in power since July, August 2022 in Bihar. How many hospitals?
Kanchan, you're also frustrating the entire issue. Let me get Pankaj into the conversation, then you can perhaps come back. Now, Pankaj ji, यहाँ पर एक चीज कही जाती है. I was speaking to certain friends in Ayodhya. Now, one of them said कि एक पार्टी तो ऐसी है इस समय जो राम को ला रही है और दूसरी तरफ इंडिया अलायंस है जो राम भरोसे है. आपको ये समझ ही नहीं आ रहा कि आगे क्या करना है. Is that the real status, Pankaj ji? राम को ला रहे हैं वर्सेस राम भरोसे.
सब राम भरोसे हैं, सब राम भरोसे हैं. भारतीय जनता पार्टी असल में राम भरोसे है. संजू जी saying learn how to win elections. Learn from BJP how to win elections. Sanju ji, it would be a sin to learn from BJP how to win elections.
बीजेपी का
manipulate
साफ हो जाएगा मध्य प्रदेश में. We've come back to power after 18 long years. Despite a so-called anti-incumbency of 18 years,
winning
we are
elections
back in power in Madhya Pradesh. The Congress was uprooted from
no politics. Now you are misusing.
Uprooted from Rajasthan.
You are using
some humility. You lost 3 big elections in the Hindi parliament.
Let me tell you that Ram temple construction
is a product which is well past its expiry date.
The elections for BJP
well past its expiry date.
Able to increase the tally.
Pankaj ji, forget the BJP right now. I want you to respond to a very simple question that a lot of our viewers are asking. Pankaj ji, you're a very seasoned journalist. You worked with Kamal Nath. You do understand politics, the nuances. The same Kamal Nath who has been, trying to push that soft Hindutva push. But in spite of that, you've seen the results in Madhya Pradesh. But having said that, what will happen in case Congress and Sonia Gandhi is present at the consecration? What are you afraid of? Kya ho jayega?
Let me tell you, I had advised Mr. Kamal Nath not to go Bageshwar Dham. One thing. Second thing is, this temple construction, cannot have the similar level of sentimental effect in many regions in our country. BJP is mistaken.
Because ये public है, ये सब जानती है. प्रियंक खड़गे, the son of Congress President
like Maharashtra, Punjab and
Sanju, please let him complete his point. Please, Sanju, it's a request.
That is being
we
created
can't be speaking
would be
over each other,
limited
Sanju. Please, one by one.
Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana and Gujarat. But here BJP is already at the saturation point. Seats cannot be increased. Maybe some vote,
no, forget about the BJP, Pankaj ji. I asked you about the Congress. What is the Congress fearing in case you are seen at the consecration of the Ram Mandir? Are you fearful that the minority is going to go against you? What do you fear?
What is Congress fearing? You should ask Congress. In my opinion, Congress has no fear. Congress has fear. Congress is very clear. But if you want to ask this, Congress party ask their official spokesperson.
May I respond now, DP? Okay,
let me get in Sajjan back into the conversation, Ravi, and then I'll give you the final word, Sanju. I'll give you the final word. Sajjan, is there some bit of truth in what perhaps a lot of Congress people today are saying and feeling? That see, if we go, we are playing on the BJP's plank, and if we don't go, they will call us anti-Hindu.
See, in politics, dilemma is the worst option, You have to have a clarity. But let me ask a counter question. Will this dilemma that Congress is now facing would have been the reality had there been an invitation to any religious occasion other than Hinduism? As we know, in Ayodhya, the land has been allocated for a mosque also, and some year down the line there would be a mosque also. And when there would be an invitation to all the political parties, I'm sure that BJP will be responding positively, but will be also witnessing the same kind of dilemma and oscillating pendulum kind of a symptom that we are witnessing now. Why? The reason is because in Hinduism, Hinduism and Hindus have been a punching bag. It's easier to get back to Hinduism every time. It's not BJP. Let me tell you, what is BJP? BJP is just an excuse to the forces who are used to demonize Hinduism. Without BJP also we'll find such souls getting back to any sort of popular Hindu religiosity when you see the caste, class, religion, all sort of differences collapse. In a state like UP, Bihar, etc., you develop the Buddhist circuit as a tourist plan. You develop the religious occasion as a starting point.
I'll open the link of my camera.
To develop the economic, UP is full of the places which mythologically and in terms of historicity, religion is one of the starting point, and thereafter it gives you an incentive for the global capital to invest. Now today, see the confusion of the Congress. On 22nd, you are going to have Pran Pratishtha completed. And after that, the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra will pass and they will demand Nyaya. Now in Ayodhya already, 22nd is the day of justice, the day of Nyaya. So in popular perception to the common people on the ground, whose Nyaya you are asking, whose justice you are asking about? Is it a good politics?
Sajjan,
is it a good politics
that's
for
a
elections?
good point. That's a good point that we can actually wrap this conversation on. But I think Ravi would respond, and we'll see if we can get Sanju also back into the conversation to respond to that point. Ravi, 30 seconds to you, then Sanju gets the final word.
Congress never believes in mixing the religion with the politics. That's the job only BJP can do at best. BJP uses the religion
have you forgotten
Kapil Sibal, of course, does not. Dawdayal Bhanna did not. Rahul Gandhi did not. Arun Nehru did not.
Intoxicated.
Ramalinga Reddy is not.
Intoxicated. Sir, they do not use
Gulzari Lal Nanda
it.
did not.
They do not use it. They do not use it. If they have got their religion, they practice it. What is wrong with
Bhuta
that?
Singh did not, who was present on the day of Shilanyas in Ayodhya.
If Rahul Gandhi wears a jane, what is wrong with that?
On express instructions of Rajiv Gandhi.
I don't know why you guys are mollycoddling this bigot on your show.
There is nothing wrong in it.
Okay, I think we're coming to an end of the conversation. So Ravi Srivastava, please pass on the baton to Sanju Verma for the last word. Sanju Verma, over to you.
Thank you, Abhishek. I just have this to say. We've had the Supreme Court for the longest time. We've had governments come and governments go. While I do agree that on the 9th of November 2019, the Supreme Court gave a historic judgment in favor of building the Ram Mandir, this happened under the watch of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And I say, Narendra Modi
Why
is
does
one of the
Mr.
few
Modi,
leaders in the world
does Mr. Modi
who is
influence the
secular
court?
and yet wears
You mean to say Mr. Modi influences the court?
This is the
No,
same
Mr. Modi influences the court. What
Guru Tegh Bahadur from the ramparts of the Red Fort. This is the same Narendra Modi who goes to Indonesia and visits the Grand Islamic Mosque. This is the same Narendra Modi who visits the Pope at the Vatican in 2021. This is the same Narendra Modi who visits the Al-Hakim Mosque in Egypt in 2023. And this is the same Narendra Modi who is going to be there at the Pran Pratishtha, at the consecration ceremony. This is the same Narendra Modi who has infused a sense of pride in Hindus like me. I'm not scared to wear bhagwa. I'm not scared to sport a rudraksh or wear a kalwa or have a sindoor or smear, bhasm or vibhuti on my forehead. Thanks to Narendra Modi. Prior to 2014, हिंदुओं को डर लगता था ये कहने में कि हम हिंदू हैं, और आज हम गर्व के साथ कहते हैं हम हिंदू हैं. And the credit goes to one man. That man is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Either you digest it, and if you can't do
before
bad for
2014,
you, the hard reality.
There were no proud
Modi has
Hindus.
made Hinduism
There
fashionable
were no proud
without
Hindus.
being Islamophobic. And despite
Okay.
retaining his secular credentials,
Okay,
Narendra
I think the
Modi
gist of what
made
Sanju is saying,
Hinduism
Pankaj, is that the majority cannot
No
live like a
welcome
minority in the country. That's essentially what she's trying to say. But, you know, I think the coming days will again and again, Abhishek, expose the fault lines in the India alliance. And as Sajjan said, I think very well, it's not just the Mandir, the Pratishtha, but a lot of other things that moves in layers. When you have such a huge project coming up, there is such a big boost to the infrastructure. And what Pankaj, Kanchan and Ravi weren't able to respond to is that is the India alliance only Ram Bharose? We will know in the next few days. We are watching that space very closely. I thank Sanju, Kanchan and all gentlemen for joining us. Thank you so much for your time. Abhishek, it's time for us to say goodbye and good night to all our viewers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining, friends. Thank you so much. Good night.